Back from the dead.
We back in this bitch. What's
up,
dude?
Forum? What's up, man?
What's up, Slime?
I saw you in the flesh. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago?
You know, it's been a while when the last time we had a pod, we saw each other in person.
Yeah.
For the record, it was not planned. It was like a week-to-week like decision, like, let's just do it next week. Let's just do it next week. But we're both glad to be doing this because the playoffs are finally here.
Yes. I'll take ownership on the extended bye weeks. The first week really was not a great reason. It just is family time, right? But then, yeah, the next week, I think Jamie's parents were in town, and it was like not really a planned thing. They told us they were coming like a couple days before, so that threw a wrench a little bit. Not to complain. Love her parents. And then earlier this week, I've just been trying to work through a backlog of work. Go ahead.
I'd be lying if I said it probably was a good thing that, you know, we prioritized other things going on, because it was nice to have a little break. So
yeah.
But anyways, a lot has happened since we last spoke. So we last spoke for week 15. And then week 16, 17, 18 have passed.
Right.
And now we're starting with the playoffs. No more Thursday night football. We had our last Monday night game, week 17.
We still get the broadcast, though, which is, I just looked at, which sucks. I think it's the AFC North game, Steelers-Ravens for the wild card. It's going to be Michaels and Herbie.
Oh.
But it's not Thursday. It's Saturday.
Right. It's not Thursday, but that's still a fun nugget of information. We're still going to get the same broadcasters. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This little infographic that I'm looking at doesn't tell me who the broadcast teams are, which is ridiculous. Come on.
Honestly, yeah, that's like
be fully
part of
informative here.
Yes, part of the decision-making process for the screen.
Well, before we get into the playoffs, a lot of other stuff has happened. Basically, there's been a Black Monday of coaches getting fired, GMs getting fired, interviews have started. A lot of the rumor mill has really gone in full blast right now. So what's the biggest thing that you've noticed that's kind of come out that's really caught your eye and just like, dang, that happened, or like, ooh, this could happen? You know, what's gotten the most attention from you?
Dang, that's such a good question. There's so many random little things that I could bring up. Like I could talk about allegedly the Bears were denied permission to interview McCarthy, which is confusing on multiple levels, but that's not whatever. I'll skip over that. I think, believe it or not, I think the most interesting thing for me, it's kind of a lame answer, I think, for most people, because no one cares about the Titans, but I find it really interesting that, what's the owner's name? Amy Adams Strunk or something. One of the few women owners in the league, which is really cool. I don't know how many there are, but I've always liked her just for that reason alone. So she fired the GM, Ran Carthen or something, but retained their head coach, what's his name, Callahan, after 1 year. So he just finished his first year as head coach, and it was a terrible season, right? But he stayed on while his GM got the sack, which I guess is fine. Like, it was a horrible year, like I just said, but I actually feel like the Titans roster is not that bad. I mean, the quarterback sucks. We know that. But in terms of like building for the future, they kind of nailed the draft, right? They got Tavondre Sweat, who had an incredible rookie year. Hook 'em horns. I mean, they signed some like big name guys in the offseason, and they played well, but like obviously it didn't matter that much. Like Pollard, and then who was the corner from the Chiefs? Not McDuffie, the other guy.
Charvarius Ward? No, that's the
No,
Niners.
Doesn't matter. They signed a good corner last year, but all I'm saying is like, I think Rand or whatever his name is was doing a decent job. And if you were gonna fire him, I would have fired Callahan as well. Because to me,
Yeah.
like I watched more Titans than I would have liked. Right. To me, Callahan kind of looked in over his head a little bit. What do you think?
There wasn't a whole lot of green flags. Like green flags I would look for with a new head coach is like a quarterback that's on an upward trajectory, a defense that is much improved. Those are usually like good signs that a good coach has been put in place. He's got his guys behind him, but I didn't really see anything. Like at the beginning of the season, the defense was good. You remember that? And then
I do remember that, yeah.
But
and then they got horrible.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like him and Gerard Mayo, make the most sense to get fired. Gerard Mayo did get fired, but Callahan curiously did not. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, the other name that I feel like is the natural comparison with Callahan is Canales out in Carolina, and they started similarly, right? Because both Bryce and Levis were like just completely out of sorts, and they both got benched at different points. But when Bryce came back, we haven't talked about him actually. Maybe I should have just opened with Bryce because he's
no. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you brought him up
because
yeah, dude. He has become the poster boy for a good head coach.
Yes.
Look at that team. A good defense came up out of the woodwork in Carolina. It takes time. It's an NFL team. And then you have Bryce Young, the resurgence of Bryce Young. He was left for dead, dude.
Yeah.
Like
by us too.
Nobody gave him a chance. Even us, we were just like, fucking trade him, shoot him, kill him.
Take him to the woodshed.
But I saw this stat. The last 8 games, he has outperformed someone like CJ Stroud on every category, dude.
Yep.
And that you got to give a lot of credit to Canales. Like he's the guy.
Other than Bryce,
you're gonna have to help me out here. He's the one that helped with other quarterbacks' resurgences.
He was in Tampa last year, I believe, as OC, right? I know he was in Tampa. He was either OC or QB coach. And yeah, they signed Baker 2 off seasons ago. Right, 2 off seasons ago. And then Baker's first year in Tampa, he went off. And so Canales' name kind of blew up. And like that's been validated. And now Baker's also still playing great. But obviously you credit the player, right, first. But it's not just the player, as we've talked about before. Like environment matters. And I think Canales is an excellent coach. The Panthers look really good, or they looked. I guess their season's done.
Yeah, even though they finished like 5 and I have the number right here. They finished 5-12.
5, yeah, that sounds right.
They're over under at the beginning of the season. Oh, I wanted to talk about that with you. It started at 3. It was at 3.5 wins, and they went over by 2 wins. Fun fact: the Saints were 7.5. We won 5 games. Trash. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. What's that?
I said, remember after week 2, the Saints looked unstoppable.
Dude, I'll never forget that. Well, let's see. Another thing. Okay, so that was a good one for you to bring up. The Titans GM getting fired. I got the most attention from the not firing of Giants head coach Daboll and Joe Shane. Like, damn, how the fuck did they survive? Especially when they watch Saquon Barkley go for over 2,000, literally goes 100 yards away from the NFL record. And John Mara is just like, the owner, he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. So he probably didn't sleep literally all season.
No, I think
Saquon Barkley just went nuts. How is no one in that front office held responsible? Just shocking.
It is shocking. I've always liked Daboll. I definitely am like a bigger fan of his than I think most people. But you're right. Like the results kind of speak for themselves. And what's the GM? How do you pronounce the GM's name? Schlang. Schlang. Anyway, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, everyone assumed that he was going to get sacked, right? If only because like he was in charge of like the first ever front office Hard Knock season, and
Hmm.
kind of looked to be just a little bit, let's say, I don't know, a little bit stretched, right? But to be fair, like I kind of like their draft too. Like obviously Neighbors was incredible. I like the cornerback that they picked. All these like names no one's ever heard of, but I don't like if you point to their list of transactions, right? Like I don't think anything's egregious, other than maybe letting Saquon walk, which is yeah, they deserve all the flame for that they get.
Well, I think the way they managed the Daniel Jones and then the backup
Oh
quarterback
right,
situation was a
yeah,
goddamn fucking
yeah,
abomination. Like it made
yeah.
no sense how they handled that.
No, it's a great point. I completely forgot about that. You're absolutely right. He's with the Vikings now, right? Daniel
Which
Jones.
guy? Tommy DeVito?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, Daniel Jones. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He went to the QB god, Kevin
Yep.
O'Connell.
The QB therapy center. Well, I hope the Giants continue to suck.
Dude, what's gonna happen over there in Minnesota? Daniel Jones. What the fuck?
I don't read that much into it. I think it'll be either Darnold or McCarthy there next year. I think Daniel Jones is
Yeah.
probably just like the career backup.
They've got an
But
interesting situation because
they
JJ
do.
McCarthy would be the first quarterback off the board ahead of Sanders and Cam Ward in this upcoming draft. Apparently, he's very good. And that's just how stacked that last year's draft was.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested to see what they do with those quarterbacks in Minnesota.
I feel like McCarthy has to bust at this point because literally every quarterback besides him has been like awesome from that
Yeah.
draft.
What are the chances they all succeed? No way, right?
Right. Although you never know. But also Darnold, like, damn, dude. Damn.
I
You were
know,
right.
man.
He's been balling.
Well, I will say, when shit mattered most, he was
Yeah.
kind of bad. He
Yeah.
was 18 for 41 and like 130 yards. He was not good in that.
Against the Lions.
Supposedly supposed to be the best game of the season. It was entertaining, but it ended up not being very close. We're referring to the Vikings Lions, by the way.
Yeah, it was a competition for a bye week. So
Yeah,
in like one sense, you could argue it was like a playoff game in that way
yeah,
because you
it really
advance.
was.
Yeah, he was bad. The Vikings as a whole kind of looked out of sorts. And to
Yeah,
me, that game like just highlighted, in my opinion, that Detroit still should be favored to come out of the NFC.
yeah.
Pretty much
I
everyone has.
doubted him, dude.
Yeah,
But
well,
you're right.
everyone did because the injuries, which I understand. Like it was a lot. It is a lot of injuries.
It is, but it didn't matter. The defense
No.
showed up, held them to
Yeah.
what, 6 points?
Yeah, the entire coaching staff in Detroit is like insanely good. Obviously, they have the players too. So,
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Pro Bowl? Do you care about the Pro Bowl?
uh, I generally don't care, but I'm down to talk about it. I just don't really know who all made it.
Uh, Xavier McKinney. Does that name mean anything to you?
Yeah, he's a Packers safety. The Giants also let him walk.
I think the general like NFL public prefers Packers over Lions for still to this day
Yeah, they do.
because McKinney made the Pro Bowl, but Kirby Joseph didn't. Does that make any sense to you?
It does, but not necessarily for their play. I think they're both really good players. But have you heard the whispers around Kirby Joseph and like his reputation? I think that's the
No, tell
guy.
me.
Let me just confirm with Google really quick, but I'm pretty sure this is the player that I've had a couple conversations about here in Detroit. Yeah, it's him. So I don't know who all buys into this. and I don't really have an opinion because I haven't looked into it myself. But I've been told by a couple different NFL
Yeah.
fans that Kirby is like just a straight up dirty player, and
Ooh.
they've pointed to examples where I'm like, dang, that does sound kind of bad. And then do I go look and research it? No, I don't. But well, I don't really care. Is the thing. I mean, if it's true, then like obviously that's shitty. Then I kind of agree he should get snubbed. But in terms of like, I'm not a fan of the Lions. Like, I'm not defending him or anything. But it is interesting to note, and I'm not sure how like prevalent that is within the league. But maybe that's why.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting because Joseph, maybe he's known to be a dirty player, and that's why he wasn't voted into the Pro Bowl. That was notable for me. Zay Flowers, first
He did make it, I
receiver
thought.
drafted by the
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens in their existence to have somebody go to the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
And I will say he is hurt.
Oh yeah.
I know we didn't prepare this, but we can just go off the cuff, guess the lines. I didn't do this, so. Anyways, yeah, that was interesting. Baker Mayfield getting snubbed, even though he led the league in touchdowns thrown. He did not make the Pro Bowl.
That's crazy.
Jared Goff did.
Oh, of course.
Sam Darnold did. Who's the third quarterback?
Who even could it be? Is it Hurts?
Say it was.
Don't tell me Hurts.
Oh, it was Jaden Daniels.
Oh, duh. Okay, that one's fair. I don't know about the other two though. Over Baker.
Is it fair though? What the like? Baker was arguably like the best. Like he had probably the least amount of weapons out of all of those guys.
That's
and
not
he
true.
Still, well, remember when Mike Evans got hurt and he was playing with like fucking nobodies, and he still was throwing dimes.
That's fair. You're right, I guess. Yeah, because Godwin died midseason.
Yeah.
Godwin was on a tear too. Godwin was having a great season. We know about Mike Evans, but also Jalen McMillan. I think we've talked about him once before. Really good rookie.
True, he's earned it.
In part because of Baker, though. Yeah, you're right. Like Baker's, I agree that's a snub. I guess I push back a little on Jaden Daniels. I'm a little bit of a fanboy there, but I would definitely put Baker over both Goff and Darnold. But it's not surprising either because like it's all narrative based, right? Kind of like MVP.
Of course.
And Goff had
Yeah.
more MVP chatter, I think.
A lot of fan voting too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's definitely a lot of that. I don't know if it's entirely or not.
I don't think alternates mean anything to me. I think Baker and McLaughlin both made the alternates list, but that they're probably going to go to the Hawaii anyways. Or I don't even think it's in Hawaii anymore. Jeez. I'm out of the loop on how the Pro Bowl works because it doesn't nobody cares about the Pro Bowl anyways. Like the game itself.
I don't know if they even play the game anymore, actually. I know they do like a bunch of drills and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, they need to go back to like the old school, who can throw the football the farthest, who, like shit like that, punt, kick, pass competition stuff. I like the sprinting they did a couple years ago with Tyreek Hill and others. What's his name? Micah Parsons was in it too. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah. Anyways, a lot of fun stuff there. I'm looking at the Pro Bowl list. I'm not seeing any other ones that jump out to me. No, not really. Yeah, McKinney. There's McKinney. No Joseph. Anyways.
Oh, Bijan got
something that happened.
Come on, dude.
Who did?
Bijan.
Oh yeah.
That's trash.
Well, he had to beat out fucking Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Josh Jacobs, all of which had amazing seasons.
They did.
It was
I
really
take
a
Bijan
resurgence of running
overall.
backs, dude.
It was. It was a good year in fantasy to load up on early running backs, which no one thought would be the case.
No, it was the literal opposite going into the
Yeah.
season, how undervalued
Yeah.
running backs are now. And, of course, coincidentally, we're about to enter the 2025 draft as the most stacked running back draft of all time.
It really is insanely stacked.
Yeah. But, again, getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, Bijan did get snubbed. It's a bummer that he didn't make it. It'd be fun for the NFL to do like a positionless Pro Bowl roster.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Jax?
Oh, you can hear that?
I think so. That's who it is, right?
That's funny.
Oh my god. I need to meet this cat.
I mean,
what's he want?
This out.
Are you starving him? Let's go.
Yeah. Maybe I won't edit this out, but this is Jax. Say hi to the camera.
He is a stud. What's up, Jax?
Mm-hmm. This dude is such an attention whore. I'll get into it with my corner, but
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, he's really vocal, and when he has an opinion, he doesn't hesitate to voice it.
That's good. I'm glad you let him express himself.
We're an opinionated household, that's for sure. Anyways, sorry for the sidetrack. Any other like coaching things that have happened? Okay, you know what? I'll tell you my interesting thing.
Yeah.
So, Bill Belichick, hired by University of North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are rumors that a $10 million buyout is possible. And one of the rumored people to call him for the buyout is Tom Brady for the Raiders, as a minority owner of the Raiders. So that's interesting. Imagine you sign a deal like that, and then you're like, peace, I'm going to go back to the NFL because they're willing to pay me more money.
Would anyone be surprised? I don't think so. I feel like that's happened once or twice before, where a coach like signed, not in the NFL, I mean in like college, but maybe I'm making that up. I also saw that headline. Yeah,
I believe you. But man, that would be wild. Imagine that does happen, dude. Golly.
It'd be kind of shitty for sure. We talked about when he got hired, I think we did at least. And I was like really, really surprised. And I still kind of am. So part of me thinks that'll happen actually. That'd be some juicy drama. Maybe I just want it to happen. I don't know. I also don't like the Raiders though, so.
Raiders are, they're obviously one of the teams. Pierce got fired, right?
Yep.
Probably lasted a lot longer than people expected, but yeah, he got fired, and I don't know who would be interested in going to that team. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of talent to look forward to, other than Crosby, but that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty bare. I like Jacoby
Myers.
Robert
Saleh. He got, Brock Bowers. Robert Saleh interviewed with the Jaguars. That'd be fun. He also interviewed as a defensive coordinator for the Niners.
I think I heard about the Niners, not the Jags.
Gerard Mayo got fired. Ben Johnson is the belle of the ball, of course. Aaron Glenn is super attractive to other teams right now. And Dan Campbell gave a brief soliloquy on how awesome Aaron Glenn is. Aaron Glenn, he's a good coach he's as good as a coach as you're going to find. He's an even better human being. If nobody wants him, I'll take him again. The thought of him going through another cycle and he's not somebody's head coach is ridiculous. Man, get you somebody that talks about you like Dan Campbell does, because that's very nice.
Dan is such a dad. It's great.
Yeah, he is, dude. It's fun.
Yeah.
I love talking about him. I've become such a Lions fan this season, especially with the Saints just being god awful.
Yeah.
Like I've literally been wearing my Barry Sanders jersey every chance I get to watch Lions games because they're just so easy to root for, man.
They really are. Pretty much everything about them, like their color scheme, the way they play, their players, except for maybe Kirby, but everyone else.
I would argue they've become America's team over the Cowboys.
No one really considers the Cowboys to truly be America's team. Not that I can remember, but
not even Cowboys fans.
I guess, yeah, a lot of them do, but I don't know.
The casual Cowboy fans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not you, of course.
No, I'm very serious.
Oh, the Patriots also want to interview Aaron Glenn, and Aaron Glenn's getting all kinds of appeal. Mike McCarthy.
I can't believe anyone wants that dude. That can't be real.
That's funny, man. Chicago Bears expected to interview Iowa State's Matt Campbell.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't.
Dude, there's a 29-year-old, a QB coach, I forgot where he's from, that is being interviewed by the Saints.
I saw that one too. I already forgot who it is, but where's the QB coach from?
I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick, but I'm not seeing it. But
I saw
the
Matt Campbell one.
What about Matt Campbell?
Yeah, he's the Iowa State coach. He's been talked about, I think, several times in past years about like as a potential NFL hire. I know, right? Well, he has done objectively like a really good job with that program. I think he's still kind of overrated overall. Like he hasn't won the conference yet. He finally got close this year. Not to like shit on him either. I mean, he's clearly a good coach, but he doesn't seem to me like his shtick would work in the league. But that's obviously speculation.
What do you think his shtick is?
Well, so I saw anytime they played Texas, obviously I saw Iowa State, and the dude kind of comes off as like a child. I'm trying to think of a good comparison that's in the NFL. Like, okay, everyone knows Kirby Smart, right? Georgia coach.
Yeah.
He kind of gives off those vibes. Like he's always in the ref's ear. I don't know. His players, I think, have helped him quite a bit. Like if you think about how much talent Iowa State has produced.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like, he deserves credit for. Again, I don't want to completely shit on him. But Brock Purdy, no one thought Brock Purdy was going to be like a franchise guy. He was,
of course, he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Exactly. But lo and behold, he's that guy. I mean, he's a great player. He also had Breece Hall come through his program. Outstanding player.
Oh, yeah.
He's had several receivers that are like pretty solid. I don't know. I'd be interested to see him coaching the Bears. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
I would want to get Tate's opinion for sure.
It's not the Saints interviewing Anthony Weaver. I know it's not that. That's an old guy. Oh, well. I don't want to. Oh, Davis Webb, the Broncos head coach, QB's coach.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Sean Payton has had a good history of his regime coaching in the NFL. So that makes sense. 29 years old, dude.
That's crazy. That's how old I am. That feels bad.
Everybody. Eddie is 29.
Thanks.
It's okay, dude. I just turned 35.
Yeah. And you just got a cat.
We gotta we're getting to that point where we're getting older, like a very healthy portion of the NFL. We're much older than them.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
Most
oh,
of
I
the
remember
NFL.
when I was that age.
Those kids. The youths.
Those dang kids. So immature. Like Lamar Jackson is 27 and he's already broken the NFL record for rush yards by a quarterback and first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 yards and 800 yards rushing. And he's 27, dude. Like in QB years, he's a baby. It's crazy.
He really is. I didn't know he was that young, actually. Dang. I thought he was like at least pushing 30.
He won MVP when he was 24 years old.
Can't even imagine.
God, they're so set. The Ravens are. Ravens are so lucky. Okay, let's move on. We've 30 minutes. Look at that. We've talked enough about the news of the NFL. Is there anything big I've missed?
I'm sure there
Before we
is,
move
but
on?
that's okay.
Okay, so for the people that don't pay attention to the details of the playoffs, let me just rattle off the playoff picture. All right. This is the final playoff picture. Whoa. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay. All right. In the AFC, you got the 1 seed bye. That's the Chiefs. Finished 15-2. Then you've got the 7 seed Broncos Wildcard play the Bills. Bills are the 2 seed, and they're going into Buffalo. Then you got the Steelers 6 seed playing the Ravens for the 3rd time this year. They're going into Baltimore.
I'm not watching that game.
I wonder what that spread is. Don't say it.
Okay.
Then you got the Chargers 5 seed playing the Texans the 4 seed. And I think everybody in the world thinks the Texans are the most overrated 4 seed of all time, probably.
There's been some pretty bad ones, but yeah.
So that's the AFC. For house cleaning purposes, the Saturday games are the Steelers, Ravens. That's the Saturday night game, and then the Saturday game is the Chargers and Texans at 3:30. And then the Sunday games are at noon. Broncos at Bills, and then segue to the NFC. You got the Packers 7 seed. Highest wild card team is the Vikings. Just kidding. Then you've got the Packers 7 seed at the Eagles 2 seed. That's Sunday at 3:30. Then you got the Commanders 6 seed at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3 seed. Then we got a Monday night game. I didn't even know that. Vikings, they are the best record as a wild card ever in the NFL. 14-3 5 seed at the Rams 10-7. And the Rams are the 4 seed. Lions, obviously with the bye, 15-2, and they earned that 1 seed against the Vikings in last week. That is the playoff picture. So obviously we can dig into each matchup, but before we do that, I want to talk about the Bengals.
Oh, damn. All right. There's a lot of bad going on there right now.
Yeah? What do you mean?
One of their rookies just got accused of domestic abuse or some kind of
Oh,
assault. Yeah, and they missed the playoffs, obviously, which I think is what you want to talk about. I hope.
oh man. Well, yeah. The Bengals ended up winning their final 5 games to finish 9-8,
Yeah.
and they needed the Dolphins to lose and the Broncos to lose. So the Dolphins were playing the Jets, and I actually remember going into that like thinking, "Oh man, the Dolphins are totally going to win that game," because the Broncos were playing the Chiefs, and I was like, "There's probably a better chance of the Broncos losing to the Chiefs," and it was the complete opposite. Broncos destroyed the Chiefs 38-0.
Yeah, they just
and
gone.
then the Dolphins lose to the Jets.
Well, they were without Tua, right? I'm pretty sure.
They were. Tyler Huntley being one of the more competent backups in the league, so
That's fair.
still tragic.
I felt worse about the Broncos actually because for a couple reasons. I thought, for one, Aaron Rodgers would like just manage to pull one last stupid trick out of his book and find a way to win potentially his last game as a Jet, maybe his last game as a player. And I felt like even though the Jets have just had like the worst season that they could have hoped for, the Dolphins to me were never that good, Like I know we've talked about them a few times and like I
Yep.
never changed my mind about them. I thought they were just frauds the entire time. Whereas the Broncos, they did sort of sway me as the season went on. Like they just kept looking good. Their defense never wavered. It's arguably like one of the better defenses in the league. In fact, I don't even think it's much of an argument. They just are. And Bo Nix in particular, like damn, I was so wrong about him.
Yeah.
He's been amazing. Credit to Sean Payton. Ugh. And also the Chiefs, like we knew they weren't starting like almost anyone. So I know there was some speculation online too that they just threw the game just dead ass because they don't want to face Joe Burrow, which I don't really believe that. But
You don't buy that? They did play
No.
apparently they played like 2 defensive sets all game. They didn't change anything. Didn't blitz, nothing.
I guess it's possible. You can't convince me that Andy Reid is afraid of anyone, but that would definitely be really interesting if like there was ever a whistleblower on something like that. Do you buy that? You think they threw it?
I buy it because I think a
Wow.
big reason Gerard Mayo got fired is because he didn't have the awareness to do what Andy Reid did. Like, I think Andy Reid told his team the situation. Like,
Really?
the one seed locked up. We cannot lose it. So, what is the point of trying to win this game? I'd rather protect my 49-year-old tight end. I'd rather protect Mahomes, who's coming off multiple sprains. Like, it makes total sense for him to rest his guys.
Yeah,
off
for
of
sure.
a season where they've had like the smallest margin of victory of all time for a 15-2 team. Like, yeah, your luck's gonna run out, so fucking save your players. So he had the awareness at least to do that. But Gerard Mayo didn't realize that, like, if he loses this game, he locks up the number 1 pick. And there's speculation that this is a big reason why he got fired. Of course, he wasn't
Really?
the best coach this season, but he won that last game against who was it? Somebody in division. The Bills? It
It
doesn't
was
matter.
the Bills. Yeah, I think it
Bills,
was.
right?
Yeah, because
Yeah, they win
Drake May
that
went
game,
off.
and yeah, they got somebody in Drake May, and I just don't understand why you don't.
Yeah.
All you have to do is do what Andy Reid did, and Gerard Mayo got exposed. So I don't know. I think considering that there's been plenty of precedent in the past of coaches making decisions like that, and then Gerard Mayo is just like completely unaware of the situation, like that looks really bad. So I do kind of think the Chiefs did it on purpose, and I do think you should blame Gerard Mayo for that decision making.
All right, let's stay on this. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I agree about everything you said about the Chiefs. Like, of course you want to rest your guys, right? There's nothing to play for. I meant specifically though that I didn't think they were throwing it to eliminate the Bengals. Do you think that they were?
Nah,
No, right? No.
I think it was a convenience thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to throw for the 13th guy in the NFL to throw for 5,000 yards. Like, of course I don't want to play against that guy. Like, but it's convenient that they've already locked up the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to not play Joe Burrow, but they're never going to admit that's the main reason. So no, I don't think they threw it specifically for that reason. I think they really prioritize like health of their
Of
old
course.
ass players.
Yeah, I agree. With the Mayo thing for the Patriots, I think he was a horrible coach. So I'm not defending him here at all. I will say though, I bet that he like already suspected he was going to get fired regardless. At which point he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to win this game," which I can respect.
Okay.
And like, yeah, you want the number 1 pick, of course, if you can get it. But we've also talked before about like how teams don't really tank as much, or if they do in the NFL, it's generally just like the last week or two, which is still valid. Like, you want the number 1 pick if you can get it, like I said. But I don't think he was given like a mandate to lose. I would hope. Like, why would an owner ever tell his guy, "Hey, I need you to lose this game"? Again, if you want the number 1 pick as an owner, then yeah, I guess you could say that, and that's fine. It just feels like, especially in a weak quarterback class, and when you already have Drake May, I don't know. I don't fault him that much, and he probably, like I said, he probably knew what was going to happen anyway. But I'm sure everyone in Boston is ready to like yell at him and yell all kinds of nasty shit once they see him. Hopefully he ends up somewhere okay as like an analyst or something.
You're talking to him like an outcast dog or something. Like, I
Dude,
hope he makes it.
Boston's scary. But yeah, I don't think he's a good coach.
He's made that abundantly clear this season. I feel like there's been so many cases where it's just like, what are you doing? You have Drake May. How are you losing this many? Drake May has been such a good quarterback this season.
Also, he's kind of slept on because they're so bad.
Yeah. Dude, I think he had like one of the top 5 highest speeds this season. And with the likes of guys like Worthy, Henry. Drake May was up there. Yeah. I can't give you the number, but anyways, the point is he's been very, very good, and the Patriots got lucky. How lucky can you be to get another guy like that?
Right.
So quickly.
The good news is they have no skill players. So
yeah,
hopefully they continue to suck.
You know what? That's a good point, because what does the number 1 pick get you? Would you spend the number 1 pick on a skilled player? Probably not. But would you spend the number 1 pick on a offensive, defensive line? Maybe.
Actually, I might spend it on a skill player for the right one, which is admittedly extremely rare. But
okay, I'm curious.
Who's
the last time a running back or receiver has been drafted number 1?
That is an interesting question. I couldn't tell you.
I put in 12. Stupid. 1. Oh, 3 times since 1936, wide receivers have been drafted number 1.
Was it Calvin?
Oh, probably yeah. Give me your guesses.
The only plausible guess that I have is Calvin Johnson, and then I don't know, Barry Sanders. That's hard.
Well, I'm talking wide receivers right now.
Oh, just right. Okay, right. Well, Calvin Johnson.
I like how you only named lines. That was funny.
I'm a homer. I'm going strictly off of guesses. I would say Randy Moss, but I'm pretty sure the answer is no. And then dang, Jerry Rice. I'm not sure.
Man, no way you got his number. All right, so Dave Parks, 1964. Irving Fryer, 1984. Keyshawn Johnson,
Oh,
1996.
I know him. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
guessed
he's still an
Keyshawn.
analyst for ESPN.
Yeah.
All right, running back.
There's probably more at running back, isn't there?
I don't think it's happened.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking. Sorry, let me
Genuinely
make
surprising.
sure. No, it's never happened.
Hmm.
Wait. 1995. You know what? I'm just going to go to the big list because there's a guy named. Can I just get like a clear list? Oh, no, it's happened many times.
There you go.
Okay. Maybe it's not that important to get all of them, but guys like O.J. Simpson, Earl Campbell, a guy named Kajana Carter.
Herschel Walker? Question mark?
Yeah, you would think him. I'm not seeing him though. Anyways, it's happened before, but it's really rare.
Yeah, it won't
time
happen
since
ever
19
again.
Yeah, well, yeah. The state of the NFL. That makes sense. All right. So skill positions, it's unlikely, way more likely in the past, but nowadays it's probably not going to happen, right? So what does the number one pick give you if you're the Patriots? Probably not a big difference between the 1 and the 4. So makes sense. Anyways, okay, another thing I want to bring up about the playoff picture, well, the snubs. What do you think the Seahawks record was?
Like their NFL record this year?
Yeah.
Didn't watch that much Seahawks, actually, but I think either 6 or 7 wins is what I would guess.
The Seahawks finished 10-7.
What? No, they didn't.
They missed the playoffs. It's because the Rams swept them.
Oh, man. I should not be on a podcast.
You're on one.
They won 10
Sorry.
games? I know.
Yeah, man. They went 10-7 and missed the playoffs. Meanwhile, tell me the end record for the Cowboys.
I didn't watch the last few games, but I'm pretty sure they went 5-12.
They went 7-10.
Of course
They
did.
played really well to end the year.
Yeah, they did start playing well at the end. I know that. Of course,
Crazy, right?
of course, I'm not going to watch them at the end of the season. It just became a pain, even when they were playing well. Ugh. Ugh.
So cynical. That's fun. Other fun storylines. The Jets finished 5-12. They were terrible. The 49ers finished 6-11. They were the worst in the NFC West. Panthers,
That I knew.
we already talked about 5-12. Same record as the Saints.
That's
Crazy.
wild. I still haven't really digested the fact that the Niners were trash, even though I watched it multiple times.
Okay, let's I keep delaying the playoff talks, but I really want to talk to you about my final win percentage for my over-unders this year.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I didn't bet that many. I bet 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I went 6-1, baby.
Dude,
6-1.
nice. Who was
I
the
bet
miss?
on the Falcons under. That line was 10 wins. They went under that. I bet on the Panthers under 5.5 wins at the time.
Oh, dang, the Panthers. Did you
But
dirty?
that line went down and down. That's why they were they were looked at to be the worst team in NFL history going into the season. I bet on the Broncos over. The line was 6 wins for the Broncos, and they finished 10-7.
Astute.
I got lucky here with the Texans. I bet on their over, not knowing how bad they were going to be this season. The line was 9.5. They finished with 10 wins.
Okay, I thought they were at 10.5. Maybe that went down from when I heard that then.
It's possible. We're looking at different books too, right?
Yeah.
I will say the confidence of the books, they put the juice at that one at the price is minus 130, so 30 cents for going over, which is really expensive.
Yeah.
For context, this is how unlikely this book thought the Falcons would go over 10 wins. It was juiced all the way to 135. So 35 cents to say your Falcons are going to go under 10 wins. Okay. Sorry. Moving on.
You're good.
I bet on the Lions to go over 11 wins. That hit. Bet on the Chiefs to go over 11.5 wins. That was actually plus money.
Dude,
surprisingly.
wow.
Yeah. That hit. And the one that I missed on, and I think a lot of people lost this, and I don't know why I felt so confident, but Minnesota Vikings under 6.5 wins. I lost that one. My only loss. So.
Can't complain. I mean, some
Not
of them feel
bad,
so
man.
obvious in hindsight, obviously, but I definitely would not have bet Falcons under, not because I disagreed with it, but I'm more of a coward better. I guess I just wouldn't bet much, but the Broncos is truly impressive. I thought they'd be bad.
I was betting on Sean Payton. I've been a Sean Payton lover for a long time. So
yeah.
Damn. I still have 16 pending wagers. Would you like to hear them?
Yeah.
We can segue this into the playoffs.
Let's hear it.
All right. I got for MVP. I'll give you the odds too. The odds leader for MVP plus 460. I bet on Mahomes. I also bet on CJ Stroud. And then my winner, I think, Josh Allen. So I bet on him. That was plus 750.
Good job.
So I'm going to lose $30, but I'm going to win $75.
Making money.
So
I bet Joe Burrow is my only MVP bet.
That was your only one?
Mm-hmm.
If the team had gone better, he would have definitely won MVP. I think
so too.
He was the best quarterback this season, I think.
I think so too.
All right, so those are my 3 MVP bets. Then I've got Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons, losing. TJ Watt, still possible, but it's probably going to be Trey Hendrickson. And then Max Crosby, he got hurt.
Is it going to be Trey?
It should be. He's the NFL leader in sacks.
He's really good. I'd still take TJ, but I guess that makes sense.
It still could be, dude. It still could be TJ. It'd be interesting. It'd be such a narrative-driven award if it was TJ, because I feel like Hendrickson was the better player, right? He was more effective across every game.
Yeah, he was pretty incredible. I guess that's fair. And I'm a Bengals fan after all.
So I'm probably going to lose my defensive MVP. It'd be nice if I won it. I would only win $25, but okay. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I feel good about this one. I bet on Jared Verse.
Nice.
And I think he's going to win.
I think he is too. That's
Those
a hell
odds,
of a pick, dude. How did you do that?
Those odds, 1,100. I'm going to win $110.
That's your best bet that you've said so far. You picked Jared Verse.
That's luck, dude. It's fucking throwing darts at a dartboard when it comes to defensive MVP. That's lucky.
Wasn't he like a second rounder? Which is still really good, but you would
I probably
assume
read some stupid article and was like, oh, Jared Verse.
Damn, nice. Well done.
And then my other option, so homer with this one, Byron Murphy.
I mean, that's fair. He was like the second defensive player in the draft.
Yeah. He probably won't win. And he deserves a lot of credit, but he probably won't win.
Him and Tavondre both have had really good rookie years.
Okay, this one I'm definitely going to lose. Aaron Rodgers, comeback player of the year.
Ouch.
He was the odds leader, dude. Plus 120. Plus 120.
Really?
That is fucking even.
That's insane.
Crazy, right?
Well, who's it going to be then? Is it Burrow?
Great question. Did he come off an injury?
I mean, from last year. But I don't know
It
what
should
the
be
narratives
Darnold.
are. Okay, that would be good.
I mean, it'd make the most sense because he literally came out of nowhere as someone thought of as being bad.
Yeah.
All right. Other bets. Through a coach of the year, I got 3 bets. You're gonna laugh. Matt Eberflus.
No. Okay, what was the juice on that?
Plus 1,000.
Oh, you killed Matt.
That's
My
so
boy.
fun. Okay, I redeemed myself with my next 2 picks. D'Amico Ryans, fair
Nice.
pick, fair pick.
Yeah, completely fair.
But
He's still a great
I
coach.
feel good about my next one because I'm pretty sure he's going to win. Jim Harbaugh.
Great pick. That should be like the most obvious bet.
Yeah, he was also plus 1,000. I think at the time everybody was plus
Dang.
1,000 or more because it wasn't obvious.
I got to set up a mutual fund where I just contribute to all your bets and you pay me out, but I don't have to think about it.
By the way, next year we're going to pod, obviously. I hope we do.
Yeah.
And we need to have pods leading up to the NFL season so we can do fun things like betting on the over-unders, coach of the year, stuff like that.
That does sound
We should
fun.
do that.
We can bet on
Okay.
the draft.
Yeah, yes. There you go. Now we're talking. All right, I have 4 more bets. The simple ones. Super Bowl. Odds to win Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs. I bet on them. Plus 450. Texans. I'm still alive, baby. I'm still alive. Plus 1,400.
Still
Bet
alive.
on them. I'm still alive with the Lions. They started the year at plus 1,300, 1,300.
People were
And
hot on the
finally-
Lions, though.
Yeah.
Rightfully.
My final bet, the Eagles. Got a 1 in 4 chance
Nice.
this year. That's pretty good. Usually
Yeah.
I get like at least a couple that are like not even in the playoffs. So Eagles, Lions, Texans, Chiefs are my Super Bowl bets.
I like it. I think everyone was colder on the Eagles coming in, and that
Yeah.
proved incorrect.
Because of the whole drama at the end of the last season, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they lost like 6 or 7 games in a row last year or something crazy. But no, they're fine. And they got Saquon.
Okay. Couldn't think of a better segue. So those are my choices. I know you didn't bet, but you take a look at the slate, generally what the path looks like for these teams. Who do you like? Like, what's your prediction? Who's your Super Bowl favorites for each conference?
Well, if you're asking me for the favorites, I'm going to give you the boring answer, which is Lions, Chiefs. No doubt about it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. No hesitation there. Who are the like contenders is a more interesting question. NFC, I'm resigned to throwing the Vikings in there, even though I think they're going to lose to the Rams on Monday.
Interesting.
But they should be taken seriously, obviously, as a contender.
More seriously than the Eagles?
I don't think so. I actually like Philly a little bit more. I guess that makes sense if I think Minnesota will lose, right? I just think I just trust Philly's balance is the best word for their team, I think. Obviously, we could talk about Saquon all day, but between their receivers, who are still elite, both of them, and Jalen Hurts, who has his flaws, but who is, I would still take him over Sam Darnold. Like, sorry, I just would take Jalen Hurts over Sam. And if you think that's crazy, that's fine. But I weirdly trust Hurts more in like clutch moments than I would Darnold, you know? And also I like that he opens up the field in ways that Darnold just can't, frankly. Uh Minnesota definitely has a better defense, but Philly's defense is
Yeah.
also like no slouch. So they have all the makings of like a winner.
Yeah.
Probably those are the three teams that I would take as like the contender category. I guess you could throw Packers in there. I've kind of soured a little bit on them. I feel like
Why?
mostly because of Jordan
Because
Love.
of the loss to the Bears.
No, mostly because of Jordan Love. Although that is an embarrassing loss.
It is. No offense, Tate.
I would take Darnold over Jordan Love. How about that?
I think it's a fair take. He's played
Yeah,
better.
yeah, he has.
That's for sure.
And
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
I'll do the AFC.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So my favorites, it's like the Goliath. Like you have to say the Chiefs. Like, they just have like the superpower in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And the narrative behind them is so strong. The plot armor for 3 years in a row of winning a Super Bowl. Like, who's gonna like? I just have a feeling that they're gonna be strongly advocated for making history instead of the typical Patriots narrative of like, oh, I hate them winning all the time. I think it's gonna be a little different this year. I think people are gonna be like, oh, can they actually do it? So that's some
a good point.
formidable plot armor, and
Yeah.
I don't want to bet against that. So I like the Chiefs the most. Then I like the Bills, right? And then the Ravens defense is finally playing better. And
Yeah.
we've talked about it at length at the beginning of the season about the Ravens defense. Just they've got the chops. You know, they've got 9 Pro Bowlers, 5 of which coming from the defense.
They've got the players,
Like,
clearly.
They've got the players. It was just a matter of figuring out, you know, how to bring it all together. So I feel like they're finally playing well. And they're starting with the potential of playing a bad team, the Steelers. So we'll play guess the lines here shortly, but I think theoretically the Ravens have a really nice path. So the Bills are going to play the lowest seed. If they beat the Broncos, the Bills will play the lowest seed. So that means they're going to either play. So the Chiefs are going to play the low seed. The Chiefs are going to play the low seed, and then whoever's left over, which is probably going to be the Chargers or the Texans, right? Like one of those teams. I think the Ravens have got that all day. Either of those teams, the Ravens have a nice little path.
Yeah. Ravens, I agree. They probably have the best path on either side, with like just limited to the contending group. It kind of worked out that way. But I also respect Herbert and I respect D'Amico Ryan. So I wouldn't just pencil them in, but you're right. They would absolutely be favored over both of them, and they should be.
This is slightly unrelated before we get into guess the lines. So the Chargers, did you know? So you knew that the Chargers and the Rams share SoFi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is a possible scenario where if the Chargers win out, and then I think in the AFC and NFC championship, those games are scheduled and are not moving. So if the Rams make it to the NFC championship and the Chargers make it to the NFC championship, those games are going to be happening on the same field with like less than an hour break in between the games.
No shit. But they would both have to be hosting. So that would then mean you would need a bunch of upsets too, right?
Oh yeah. It's very unlikely, but possible.
But it's possible. That'd be awesome. I'm cheering for that.
That'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right, dude, it's time. Off the cuff guess the lines. I'm totally not ready for this.
You're rolling up your sleeves. Oh boy.
Pull up FanDuel. Let's do this.
Oh, yes. Let me get FanDuel to read my face here so I can log in. Oh, I love 2025. All right, what game are we starting with?
We'll start with let's go by time, day and time. First game available to us: Chargers at Texans. Chargers wildcard team, Texans division winners. I'll start. I like the Chargers by, I don't think Vegas likes the Texans. I'm going to go with the Chargers by 4 points. They're favored by 4. What's your number?
I came up with Chargers 3.5.
Oh,
So, okay, FanDuel is Chargers minus 2.5. That's closer than I would have thought, obviously.
ooh,
Yeah.
2.5.
They
More
like
respect
something
to the
in
Texans.
Houston. Well, I like both these teams in terms of like watching them. I like the players a lot, so I'm kind of disappointed they're playing each other. But obviously, the Texans have looked like shit. There's still a
Yeah.
part of me that wants to believe that they'll figure themselves out. How, I have no idea, but it'd be nice to watch Stroud and Nico get back to their prime. Are you ruling them out entirely, or like would you be shocked?
I just feel like CJ Stroud he's just a different quarterback. He's almost broken this season.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And everybody knows in the playoffs you must have a competent, confident quarterback, and I just don't feel like he's playing that way anymore. And it's not really his. I mean, yes, it's partly his fault. He has been throwing inaccurately, but the offensive line is the biggest issue. Like it's just been a fucking shit show, and it has ramifications for the entire offense. The defense can only take them so far, and they've already had situations where the defense just breaks because, I mean, you can only sustain that for so long. So I'm not confident in that, and I don't think the defense is going to be enough against arguably one of the better defenses in the NFL in the Chargers. So
yeah, I think I'm definitely rolling with the Chargers. If I had to just make a straight up pick, I really like talking about the balance thing earlier with Philly. I think a lot of that same stuff applies to LA now that McConkey's a beast. Also, Quentin Johnston, I know he's kind of like a meme. He had a terrible rookie year, and like even this year, he's had some really bad games with drops. But he just popped off for like 200 yards against like I think it was the Raiders. It was meaningless, but he's behind McConkey in the pecking order. So it's nice having two guys who have at least shown they can like make some explosives, right? And it's more than Houston showing. So yeah, the Chargers are in good shape, it looks like.
Well, if I were to bet on either of those teams, I like the Chargers to cover that just because I'm a Texans naysayer. Winning by a field goal sounds very likely. I feel like they can easily do that against the Texans. So
yeah, if you like Houston, might as well just take it the money line, right? Maybe. Is that too much?
I'd rather take the spread because it's just gonna be more expensive. Oh no, that's not true. They're underdogs. Sorry. Yeah, it makes sense if you think they're gonna win. But if all it takes is a win to cover, so I don't know. I don't like the Texans, so I wouldn't consider it.
I wouldn't bet them either. Right.
Okay, this is kind of unrelated, just random fodder. Do you think there's a true like home field advantage in the playoffs?
Yes, but only for certain teams. I don't really think Houston is one of them. Like
Yeah.
Arrowhead is the most obvious example.
Oh yeah.
Obviously that's a huge advantage. They go crazy. And I think it helps Kansas City that like they're like the only major sports team it feels like in the whole region. I know they have like baseball and stuff, but this is America, right? This is football. And it's the Chiefs. And those fans go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's specific to the stadium. Indoors is not doing you any favors. it's shown all season that it does not matter at all, home field. But when it comes to the playoffs, the teams I don't want to go to are Baltimore, Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City. Probably
That's a
throw
good
the
list.
Lions in there because that stadium's energy is probably going to be immeasurable.
I was gonna say Detroit is quite up there too. Even though it's indoors, like you said, the people here are also crazy for Jared Goff. But like, yeah, Houston, obviously SoFi's just like a freaking school. That's a shame because SoFi is actually a really cool stadium, but it's always quiet. And yeah, frankly, most NFL teams I think don't have much of a home field advantage.
No, it's a different sport. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're comparing it to the college game, which is not
Right.
the same. Okay, let's move on. Next game, Saturday, 7 p.m. Steelers at Ravens. Steelers 6 seed, Ravens division winner, 12-5. This is going to be a lopsided game. I feel like the Steelers they've lost the last 4 games. They were 10-3 at one point, man. They lost the last 3 games, so they're 10-4. Anyways, I feel like Vegas is not going to like them. I'm going to go high. I'm going to go Ravens by 8.5.
That's very high. That's a spread that I like personally, but I don't trust Vegas to put it that big.
All right.
I would say Ravens minus 6.5.
I probably should have gone lower.
You said 8.5 or 9.5?
I said 8.5.
8.5.
It's probably not that high.
Dude. Oh wow. I don't know anything.
What?
It's Baltimore minus 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really high. Holy shit.
Yeah.
9.5?
I think that's fair.
That's so high. What? Has there been a spread that high in the playoffs before? That's fucking high. That's insane.
The Steelers look bad. Bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially off of. Have you caught up on Hard Knocks at all?
No, but I will.
They've looked so bad on Hard Knocks. Tomlin looked like an idiot.
Yikes. What about him?
He's just like not managing the sidelines well. Like he's just been super raw and not making any adjustments, at least by the editing. It's just like all I could think was like, dude, you're about to lose your 4th game in a row. Like, is that all you have to say to your team? Like, you guys have a lot of talent everywhere. You have George Pickens back. What's your excuse? Like,
he had a terrible game. But yeah.
I couldn't make excuses at that point. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are they doing? Like, this looks really bad on Tomlin. And then meanwhile, you got the Ravens, the complete opposite trajectory. They're just playing so much better now. They were like, I want to say they were almost. Did they win their final 5 games of the year? I think they were 7-8-5, maybe.
That sounds right.
That sounds right?
They are hot. Yeah, I think you're right.
They're just like one of the hottest teams in the league. I like the Chiefs, but I think the best team to knock the Chiefs off would probably be the Ravens.
I can see that. I think I would take Buffalo, but I understand that completely.
Speaking of Buffalo, let's move on. All right, you got the Sunday noon game. Broncos at the Bills. Broncos 7 seed wildcard team. They're 10-7. They're at 13-4 Bills. MVP Josh Allen most likely. I think that the Broncos have played very well, but if I had to guess, rookie quarterbacks are historically bad in the playoffs. So I'm going to think the Vegas thinks that, and they're going to put the Bills well above a field goal. I'm going to go a little high. I'm going to go 5.5 by the Bills.
That's exactly what I had.
Okay.
Sorry. So we both have Buffalo minus 5.5. FanDuel has Buffalo minus 8.5.
8.5?
There's some big spreads. Even though
I think
Denver
it-
just
I mean,
skunked Kansas City, they're backups.
oh yeah,
Still an impressive performance. I don't care if they were all backups.
yeah. They were playing Carson Wentz.
Right. He's kind of good for a backup.
Man,
No, I'm actually
8.5, dude. Wow, that's
that's
high.
big. Yeah, I was really
I
excited about
kind of
this
want to
game.
bet on the Broncos.
That's what I'm thinking too. If I was going to bet,
Well,
although
I'm thinking the
don't
Buffalo's
know.
defense isn't very good. I mean, they haven't played well. When was the last time Buffalo's defense played well? I can't even tell you.
that's a good point. Yeah,
It's just
that's
been
a
the
really
Josh
fair
Allen
point.
show.
True. They were playing well beginning and middle part of the year, right? And then they just fell off a cliff somehow.
Yeah.
They ran into Jared Goff and lost their mojo.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. Man, 8.5. That's crazy. I would tease the Broncos because I like Sean Payton figuring
That's
stuff
bold.
out.
I don't like him that much. I think Josh Allen's a lot to handle, obviously. I see the upside in taking the points with Denver. But I do think there is some blowout potential. Like you said, the rookie factor. Obviously, it's Bills Mafia. Could be cold. I don't know if Nick's is much of a
Yep.
cold guy. It is
They
one
get
of my
Amari Cooper back.
difficult games. Oh, they do get Amari Cooper back. That's fine. We'll see.
Yeah, the Bills are. I bet they're going to be a scary team, no matter what. I mean, Josh Allen's been playing out of this world this year, so I think they deserve that spread. But this is more of a vote of confidence on Sean Payton. I mean, he had a
That's
heck of
fair.
a year was
Yeah.
heavily, criticized.
Yeah. Denver has earned respect as well.
Okay, next game. We got the Packers at the Eagles Sunday for 3:30. Packers 11-6, wild card 7 seed at the Eagles 2 seed 14-3. I think even though the Eagles are a better team, I think the Packers are going to be able to run the ball really well on the Eagles. So I'm gonna go low. I think Vegas is gonna like the Packers playing well. I mean, outside of the Chicago game, obviously. I'm gonna go Eagles by 3.5.
Okay. I went even lower. I said Philly minus 2.5.
Ooh.
Even though I also like Philly personally, I would put them a little bit higher than that. But I agree.
Interesting.
Vegas likes Green Bay. It is. What did you say? 3.5?
3.5.
Yeah, you get it. It's Eagles minus 4.5.
4.5. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the
think they're
score?
better.
How are we doing here? Is it?
I think you're up
winning
2-1. No, you're up 2-1.
I'm up 2-1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And we drew the Buffalo game.
Do you think the Eagles' offense is overrated?
Yeah, I think that's fair, but not by a whole lot. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think
Why
their
do you think
talent
that though?
is overrated. I think a lot of people gush about their personnel, and I think all of that is valid. And I think most of the potential for like disappointment comes from like two things. One is that Hurts can be erratic, and obviously that I guess that matters. But the other one is like just that weird Sirianni factor, or just more like generally weird Philly vibes factor, where you never quite trust them, no matter what. I can't really explain it beyond that, but I like Kellen Moore as a coordinator. I think he's a good play caller, and I really believe
Those are
in
words I never thought I'd hear.
I know, right? Well, I hated him when he was in Dallas, which is kind of funny. Now I think he's good. But maybe it's just that the Eagles are better, like, which is painful to hear. I bet Dylan probably hates me listening to this if he ever does listen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I bring this up because I saw, how most things you see on the internet are true, right? So I saw this Instagram reel. I don't think I forwarded it to you, but it was a guy that was kind of overanalyzing Eagles offensive plays. And they noticed that the Eagles were running the same plays over and over again, but just to different sides or with different personnel.
Yeah.
And it was working because their talent level was super high.
That was this year?
And this is my speculation. I feel like a good coach is going to sniff that out. Like, I feel like you give LaFleur enough runway to say, oh, you're going to run the same play over and over again? Okay, I got something to match that. So I think they might be a little overrated because Philly's offense is oversimplistic, and I think there's the potential of them getting exposed this playoffs.
That's a valid point. I do think LaFleur is a great coach, obviously much better than Sirianni and better than Kellen Moore too, and the Green Bay defense is legit.
They've been playing really well.
So you're right. I would agree with that potential there. The only pushback I would give is that I think some of the Packers personnel might be a little bit overrated. So it's like kind of flipped. Like Jair Alexander, for example, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's not. I don't think he's nearly as good as his reputation suggests. Is that fair?
I think it's fair. They had other players make the Pro Bowl, like Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, Xavier McKinney's good. I get all that. Their D-line, I think, is their strength.
Yeah.
But the Philly O-line is solid, so it'll be a good matchup. Of course.
Well, I think it's unlikely the upset happens with the Packers, but if the Eagles win and the Bucks win, they're going to play the Bucks. So that's a fairly easy path for the Eagles. I'm not scared of the Buccaneers. I wouldn't be, because their defense just isn't very good.
Yeah.
So maybe the Eagles have like the ideal path to avoid good coaches. Like, they don't have to play Minnesota. They don't have to play the Rams. Right? They get to avoid all those good coaches until the NFC Championship.
There's a lot of good coaches. Dang. I wouldn't have said that 3 years ago for some reason.
I know. Okay. Anything else on that game?
No, I guess that's probably one of the better matchups, but we already talked about it.
It is fun. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 7-2, it's, you got 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs. So
it's a strong 7.
And we didn't mention that we had 3 AFC South? No, AFC West teams. Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos.
I hadn't thought about that, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Should have mentioned that. All right. Commanders at the Bucks. You got Commanders 12-5, 6 seed wild card. At the Bucks, division winner, NFC South, the garbage NFC South, 10-7. I mean, they barely won, dude.
I know. They needed the Falcons to lose, and they did. I guess that was last week, but yeah.
Still, arguably the closest of all the division races, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the thing that's going for the Buccaneers, I'll just segue this into my pick, is that Baker's such an X factor, dude. And like all of America is going to be rooting for the guy, and they got Mike Evans back. Bucky Irving has solidified himself as like, the winner of the year, all that kind of shit. They've got a lot of good narratives going for the Bucks. The only one that's not helping them is the defense has just been consistently poor. So with Jaden Daniels' magic, I like the Commanders to be favored here. I'm going to go with the Commanders, and it's going to be close.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Commanders. I'm going to go 2. -2 for the Commanders.
-2 to Washington. Okay. I also struggle with this one. It's really hard. And there's a reason it's the nightcap. I put Bucks minus 1.5 with very little
yeah.
confidence. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's Bucks minus 3. So we're tied again.
Oh,
That's kind of big, isn't it?
what?
That's what
That's
this
I
thing said.
don't know about that one, Vegas. I
Yeah,
don't know about that.
it's interesting dog potential. I agree. I think Washington can pull this off. Like
Oh yeah, I'm
Baker's
100%
really good.
betting on the Commanders. I
Yeah.
love Baker. I love Baker, but the Commanders defense. I
Yes.
mean, they're not that great, but they're definitely playing better than the
They're
Bucks.
solid. And Dan Quinn
And
will have something cooked up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm betting on the commies. I'm definitely betting on the
Not a
commies.
boy. We need more commies.
More commies to the rescue. That's funny, man. But that might be my favorite game to watch this all for the wild card round. That is going to be fun. Hey, tell me, what are your plans? Are you going to try to watch all the games?
I have planned Saturday night. I'm gonna go watch a movie, actually, which works out because I don't really want to watch Steelers Ravens that much. That's probably the game
Yeah,
I'm most
that
okay
actually
with
works out
missing.
well.
Yeah.
What movie
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
gonna go
going to watch?
watch A Complete Unknown. Outside of that one, I want to watch every game. Yes, that's the plan at least. But I will also be like super tuned in Friday night for a college game. So maybe that takes away some of my time from partner duties, but I'll watch as much as I can for sure. And definitely
I,
Washington versus Tampa Bay. Sorry, go ahead.
well, I hope so. I hope you are, because there's some fun games on the slate. There's some bad ones, but I know you mentioned you don't like that many, but there's definitely some good ones.
Talking about it more now, I'm getting excited again. So this is good.
Okay, so we're tied for
We're
the
tied.
win. We got the Vikings 5 seed, highest 5 seed ever in NFL history, against the Rams 4 seed. Vikings 14-3, Rams 10-7. That's Monday night, 7:00. Well, I mean, I'd be surprised if the Vikings weren't favored here, but the question is by how much. They're coming
Right.
off a bad loss. I mean, they looked bad. And they're playing a Rams team who's
one's
fully
hard.
loaded. I can't think of a major injury. I mean, I know Stafford's banged up a little bit, but he's going to play. I like the Vikings by a second road favorite. I like the Vikings by 3.5.
Okay, that's good. Because I had initially written 3.5, but then I changed it to 4. So no tie.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Ooh,
I think you're
who
gonna
wins
get
this?
it though.
Is it
Oh
3? It's
wow,
probably 3.
you get it. It's minus 1.5. Dang.
1.5.
Go.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
so close. But damn, I edged out that victory. Let's go.
I did say I'm picking the Rams to win. I'm sticking by that. I
Okay.
feel like
I mean, Vegas is kind of saying that.
yeah. I mean, they're playing great, and I know other than the last game, Minnesota is too. But I think the Rams can pose some serious problems for what's otherwise an outstanding defense. I think Stafford against Brian Flores' aggressiveness can actually work in the Rams' favor. And
Yeah.
with their quick passing
Stafford's
game.
really good at that. He always has been.
Yes. I actually think it's a really bad matchup for Minnesota. And I also just think they're jokers, frankly. So it should be
I mean, they've
interesting.
shown that.
Yeah.
They have shown that several times already. Interesting. Man, 1.5. Man, I want to watch that game. I'm glad it's Monday night.
Me too.
Man, I'm excited just thinking about all these games they're fun. Even though I don't like the Texans, that's gonna be a fun game. I mean, Chargers, Texans, I think the Texans have always been a resilient team. Like they played a lot of close games, so it's gonna be a fun game regardless. I think the only games I probably will avoid, but I'm still probably gonna watch. It's probably the Steelers, Ravens, and maybe even the Broncos, Bills.
Yeah, that one, whether I watch or not, will depend on how the first half goes.
Yeah. Man, that's good. Okay. Good stuff, dude. Any other thoughts about our playoff picture?
Did we make actual Super Bowl picks, or did we just say favorites?
Well, let's do that now. Let's have it on record.
All right, really
You go
quick.
first. Super Bowl winners.
I don't want to be boring, even though that's the right answer. So I'm gonna
Go for the right
be,
answer, dude.
I'm gonna be fun. No, I'd rather be fun. I'm gonna
I
say
swear to God, if you say the commies.
Bills. Bills commies. No.
Oh my God, are you
I-
kidding me, dude?
I'll take the
That's
Bills,
not
though.
gonna. Okay. Okay.
That'd be awesome though. I'll take the Bills, and then I'll just go Lions to come out of the NFC. So I'll have one chalk, and then I'll take
Kind
the
of fun,
Bills to
though.
win it all.
Yeah, taking the Bills to win it all. That's a shocker, I'd say. You're going against the grain with the Chiefs there.
I wouldn't bet on it, but there you go.
I'm gonna go with the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I've doubted them before, but they've shown time and time again they've won in all the ways you can possibly win. They've checked all the boxes. All the injuries, doesn't matter. We're going to dominate you defensively. Play outdoors, Jared Goff's bad with the bad weather, doesn't matter. He has a great game. Jared Goff has a terrible game, throws 5 interceptions, doesn't matter. Win that game too. You name me the situation, they go out. Are you ready to run through a wall right now? You're like
I'm thinking about Dan Campbell's face right now.
Yeah, I like the Lions. I'm gonna stick with that. I also put money on them, so I'm gonna go with that. I do like them to play. I mean, it just makes the most sense for the plot to go against the Chiefs. They're gonna beat the Chiefs. So,
Yeah, I guess this is the year where the chalk would actually be like probably the most viewed potential. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it's like that every year, but it feels like America wants to see Detroit versus Kansas City, doesn't it?
oh, damn right they do,
Yeah.
man.
Should be fun.
Okay, you got it. Those are the picks. I can't wait, dude. Let's wrap it up. That's
Yeah.
a fun comeback episode, hour and a half. I like it. So let's get to our corners, man. It's been a while and a lot of stuff probably has happened, but you want to go first?
Sure. You're right. A lot has happened. I could just talk about my travel last month when I saw you, saw my family, saw some football. Great times, but all kind of standard. Nothing crazy. I'm back in Detroit, back to work. So I'll talk about a toy we bought, me and Jamie, with a gift card that we got from our Costco memberships when we moved here. So that was back in September. We signed up for Costco, finally made that adult move. And then as like a bonus for signing up for their Costco credit card, we get it was like $700 or $800 gift card to Costco. And so we used that.
Oh, shit.
I know, it's not nothing. And we thought about a lot of different ways we could go. We also thought about just like using it on like groceries, which would have been fair. But we bought a toy, and I'll just show you our first workout machine.
Oh,
yeah, there's
a
Luna.
little tready. You're on that tread game.
Yeah, we're back on the tread game, and so with it being the new year, we're also trying to use it, right? So we're doing like a January goals, trying to get to 40 miles, which is not that many if you're a runner, but I haven't ran in so long. So I'm up to, what am I at now? 7.5 miles. So I got 30 something to go. But yeah, it's been good. Definitely not the runner that I used to be, but that's okay. Just getting back on the wheels.
You should schedule like a 10K or something and
That's a good idea.
Put that thing to good use.
Yeah, I probably will do that. Maybe a 5K, but I'll do something.
5K. You got to give yourself some more credit, man. You've got it in you to run more than that.
I do, but that's also kind of boring. That's a long time. I've only ever
Yeah.
done 5Ks because it gets boring after a while.
But wouldn't you probably run it with somebody else? Like you're not going to be alone. And you can
That's
run
true.
that at a pace that's like super chill.
Yeah, I guess I do want to do one eventually, and I'm only getting older. But yeah, trying to get back in shape via running. What about you? What's going on? I know you got a new cat that said hello earlier.
I did. His name is Jax. If you're watching this, you're going to catch a little glimpse of him earlier in the pod. He's sleeping right now.
Nice.
He's got a plethora of options in the house for him to be sleeping, and a lot of those options are on the walls. And when I say the wall, I'm sorry, the windows. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because a part of my corner. So I want to show you a photo. I'm going to screen share it. But anyways, while I get that up, I'll tell you about my corner. So as you know, got a cat. It's been fun. Jax is awesome. He's a huge, majestic creature. He's enormous. He's over 20 pounds now.
Dang.
By cat standards, that's quite heavy.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually lost a lot of weight coming into the house. So he moved into my mom's house about 2-ish months ago, and he weighed in at 25 pounds.
Wow.
He lost about 4 pounds since he was stressed from moving in the homes. Yeah, bummer. But anyways, it all worked out because he has really settled in here. And he has attached to me very quickly. Right.
Nice.
I mean, that makes sense. Maine Coons are known to, like, they're emotional creatures. They latch on to their owners very quickly. They're very vocal. A lot of fun, endearing characteristics about Maine Coons, I've noticed. So, anyways, I have obviously told people, as many people as I have, about Jax, and a lot of cat people out there. So naturally, people want to go meet him.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Yeah, that's all right. You'll get the chance.
Yeah.
So the first people to meet Jax are obviously my mom and Yadami, her boyfriends, and they came over. And so they came over the day before my birthday, and they brought Jax over with them, and they were technically the first people to see him in his new home. But I was surprised by a birthday party that they threw me. I totally was not expecting it.
Nice.
That was really fun. They got cake and everything. So that was fun. It was a tres leches cake, and it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Then the next people that wanted to come over and visit the cat are some of my close friends who I've gotten even closer to this year. They came to see Jax, I want to say last Friday. So after the new year. And I was like hosting like this game night thing, which is cool. So it was about 6 close friends of mine that came over to, play games and then meet Jax. But they also threw me a surprise birthday party, which was super dope. I don't think I have. I think I've had one surprise birthday party. Have you ever had one before?
I don't think I have. No.
I'm privileged in that these people are.
You're loved.
They want to do that for me. It was super dope. So they brought all the food over. They brought the cake over. Jax got all the attention. All that being said, I wonder if you're thinking,
Yeah, I am.
Where's Ben doing?
Exactly.
Is that what you're thinking?
I've been waiting to ask. How are him and Jax?
All right. Well, let me show you. I'm going to screen share so it makes it on the pod. What the heck? Oh, there we go. All right. Screen sharing.
Is he struggling with less attention?
Here we go. This
That's amazing.
This is Fenrir when everyone is just like fawning over Jax.
Oh my god.
He-
Poor
He's
dog.
just sitting there like, what about me?
What have I done? What did I do wrong?
Dude, it's so funny. It's so
Uh,
freaking funny. Yeah, so that happened. I'm trying to stop sharing. There you go. So yeah, he looks like you ever seen Men in Black, the original?
yeah, but it's been a very long time.
You
The
remember
aliens?
Yeah, do you remember the ones that are smoking cigarettes in the break room?
Yeah.
That
He
is
does look
exactly
like
what he looks like. He's just fucking all the skin just coming up into one place, just
yeah.
awkward.
His pot belly sticking out.
So Fenn hasn't really been handling very well.
Dang.
He actually had his first accident ever. It's probably due to stress, not getting any attention, all that stuff. But silver lining with all of it is that those two have gotten closer and closer. And I actually today I woke up and Jax was sleeping in contact with Fenrir, and that is
That's
the first
huge.
time that's happened. That is huge.
That is
What a
huge.
milestone.
Massive.
Massive.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's too bad I noticed it, but I was like half asleep and I was like, fuck, I should take a picture. And as soon as I moved like a millimeter, Jax woke up. So
That's awesome, dude. I hope
anyways,
it
that's my corner.
continues to get good. Very cool.
Well, man, that'll be it for the pod. I'm glad we could get back on the sticks and shoot the shit.
Me
I
too.
missed it and look forward to after the wild card round to talk some more.
Yep. That's the plan.
All right. Well, good luck to your picks, and we'll see everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next, perhaps Monday, Tuesday. We'll see.
Sometime.
Toodaloo.